Hey guys, this is Tris with Source Gaming. I'm here with Nantenjex
Hello.
and Liquid,
Hello.
and this time we'll be discussing if Amiibo are still considered worth it. So, start things off, Breath of the Wild, pretty recent. We just got not only the 30th anniversary Zelda Amiibo for that, but also the brand new Breath of the Wild Amiibo for that. So, what do you guys think of their actual use in the game, of pretty much just giving you some treasure chest items?
It's weird, right? So, I've been able to use all of the Breath of the Wild Amiibo, and I've been able to use all of the Anniversary Amiibo and all of the Smash Amiibo for Zelda. And, ironically, the Breath of the Wild Amiibo do the least amount of work. Like, the Smash Amiibo and the Anniversary Amiibo can all give you special weapons or clothing options, but apart from Link on a horse, which gives you a Epona, and Link with the bow, which I think gives you like a special saddle, all the others just give you nothing unique. Guardian will just give you random Guardian equipment, Bokoblin random Bokoblin one. Zelda can give you the Hylian shield, but from my understanding that's already in the game anyway.
Yep.
You can just potentially get it early.
And actually, if the Horse Amiibo gives Epona, I mean, so does the Smash Link Amiibo.
Well, maybe it's the Smash Link Amiibo. Maybe the Horse Amiibo gives you the saddle, then.
Maybe that's what it is.
Which means that regular Link just gives you random bows. But the point is, the Breath of the Wild Amiibo do surprisingly little compared to all the previous Amiibo in Breath of the Wild. Which is bizarre. Yeah. They're quite nicely made Amiibo. They're ridiculously hard to find, though.
Yeah, it's actually surprising. You would think the Guardian would be the rarest, but that's actually the one I've seen the most. I think most places got the most stock of the Guardian, but I haven't seen any of the others.
I've seen the Bokoblin and the Link on his horse are everywhere. That's because I think the special edition came with Link on his horse, so no one else needed to buy it physically. Zelda is the hardest. Zelda is just non-existent. Right.
Liquid, what about you?
I mean, I've always seen Amiibo in some cases as bribing your way to victory, and in this case, it's no different. I mean, even if you don't have the specific Breath of the Wild Amiibo, you can just scan all of your Amiibo every day for free stuff. Believe me, it's helped me a lot of times with getting food and whatnot. So, I mean, it's not mandatory to have Amiibo to enjoy it, but hey, if you have it, scan them all every day. It'll help with surviving.
Yeah, they've definitely dropped some pretty good weapons, honestly, for me. Especially, like, I tend to scan before fighting a Lionel because the Ganondorf Amiibo tends to give me a good sword. But surprisingly enough, I know a lot of people that are mostly just trying to complete the Amiibo exclusive costume sets, so they're not even bothering with the Breath of the Wild sets. They're bothering with the 30th anniversary and Smash ones.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like, because the Amiibo aren't mine, and I don't get after Tuesday, I won't get to use them again. I've just been scanning them every day and save scumming my way until I have all of the outfits needed. I have all the Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time outfits. I just need like the Twilight Princess and Classic Link outfits now, and Zelda's bow, and then I should have everything.
Yeah, I've only been able to complete the Wind Waker Link. I think I have about 6 Wind Waker Cap of the Winds. I don't know how I'm getting so much of that, but I haven't gotten like anything of the others, and I have all the Amiibo for them.
Well, the Breath of the Wild Amiibo, I think, do something interesting with or show an interesting sign of how the Zelda Amiibo seem to be, seeing as there seems to be nothing but Links constantly. Like, if you count Epona as Link, there's like about 7 Link Amiibos out there, and there's been rumours that there's a Skyward Sword and Fierce Deity Link coming as well, so...
Yeah, and that's from data mining out the Amiibo drops of there's everything needed for a Majora's Mask Link Amiibo and a Skyward Sword Link Amiibo. Yeah. Which, I don't know when they would do those for other 30th anniversary, and what would they come with? Is it just those two? Or Is there a whole other Zelda set, and those are just the only two that already had their data in the game?
I don't know. I theorised that maybe Skyward Sword one would come with like Skyward Sword HD in the same way that Wolf Link came with Twilight Princess HD, but I have no idea about Fierce Deity Link and why he would be around, unless there's a whole other Zelda line coming out.
I could see a whole other line coming out, and then just the Majora's Mask one happens to be not Majora's Mask. Skyward Sword one happens to be bundled with HD.
Yeah.
I don't know when that would be, because I can't really see them releasing Skyward Sword HD anytime too soon, with Breath of the Wild just releasing, but...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the Breath of the Wild amiibo are too random and offensive. I mean, a Zelda line seems really obvious after a Mario line, because Zelda's really popular. It's not like they're going for really obscure games like they just did with the QB amiibo, which I think is just a Japan exclusive. And I mean, it's great. I have it because I quite like Box Boy and I like the obscurity of it. But I literally just bought it for the sake of it having it like on a shelf as a decoration. I didn't buy it for any real in-game use. I will use it when I get Goodbye Box Boy, but it wasn't my motivation. Yeah,
that's one thing I'm noticing for a lot of most people with more than maybe 3 amiibo. It's for collecting purposes, possibly also using them. Like in my case, I use them, but I also decorate my shelf with them.
Yeah, same.
You know what's funny about the Majora's Mask item that's found in the code?
What?
That, you know, at one point there was supposed to be a Skull Kid amiibo for Majora's Mask 3D on the 3DS. So.
Oh, was there?
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, they talked about doing it for Majora's Mask 3D.
Yeah, so.
But they decided that they couldn't think of anything. They'd be adding something to a old game just for the sake of having an amiibo.
Right.
Yeah,
they didn't like that. Although they had no problems in Twilight Princess, so.
Kind of get the idea that they might release old retro themed amiibo, just kind of like what they did with the retro Mario amiibo, but for Zelda, like based on older games. That's what I kind of think is going to happen with those items in the code, and it just brought to mind anecdote.
They already did release Retro Link in the way they did Retro Mario.
Oh, well.
Yeah, the classic Link.
Yeah, well, considering
I feel like it's more likely at some point down the line we'll get another line of Zelda amiibo, which has Skyward Sword, Fierce Deity, and then maybe like different versions of Zelda and Ganondorf.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Ocarina of Time Ganondorf, and then I don't know, like Ocarina Zelda, and so on and like that. I don't know, Skyward Sword Zelda.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think the Breath of the Wild amiibo are too offensive in the grand scheme of things. I mean, they're 30th anniversary amiibo. They're mainly for collectors. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not like the Mario Sports Superstar cards.
Okay, yeah, those are interesting. So, and there's also apparently problems with them now too. As being reported earlier, there's random batches of them where they don't actually function. They're just cards. Wow. So that's pretty bad.
See, my problem with the Mario Sports Superstar cards is how absolutely pointless they are. You can get the cards perfectly fine in-game, as you're playing Mario Sports Superstar, and like you just do things, you get coins, and then you can buy batches of 10 cards. And you can technically use them in the game to do it, but all the amiibo does is you scan it, and you don't even get that card, I don't think. You just get a random packet of cards.
So you collect random cards outside of game and in-game, then?
Yeah, basically. That's all that does, and then outside, they're not even like trading cards or anything like that, they're literally just cards with images on them.
Oh boy.
They're not nearly as good as the Animal Crossing cards, which even then I thought was pushing things a little bit. At least with them, they have 3 games now that they work with, and they allow people to get specific villagers to come to their town. Like, the Mario sports cards do nothing, and unless another Mario game comes out that uses them, they're literally just there to try and trick people into making some money.
I would presume
money.
like the basic characters, like the same ones that are in Smash and the normal Mario amiibo line. I presume those might work in, say, Mario Kart 8 to get like the costumes again. But
I wouldn't count on that. I mean, the Animal Crossing amiibo cards don't work like the Animal Crossing figures do.
that is true.
If you scanned a Mr. Rossetti card into Amiibo Festival, you don't get to play as Mr. Rossetti like you would do if you had a figure. You can only use them in the card-specific things.
Yeah, I mean, like initially when they talked about Mario Sports Superstars and the fact that it would have amiibo, it was the interesting idea of, you know, people like to collect baseball cards, and now we're having Mario Baseball and soccer all in one. It's like, oh hey, sports cards, people can collect those, and they pretty much just dropped it. And I mean, are there really? I'm not going to ask if people are interested in it because I'm sure there's people buying it, but do they really serve? Do they serve a purpose that's even on par with even just the cosmetics of what you get in Breath of the Wild?
No, I mean, this is the problem. As cards, yeah, people want to collect them. I mean, you can get cards of anything. There are Fire Emblem cards, there are Kirby cards, there are the Zelda cards, and they're all just about, well, the Fire Emblem cards and Kirby cards are more useful, but they're just about on par as the Zelda cards I've seen around, which are just literally a picture of someone from the game and a description on the back, just for looking at, just for collecting. The problem is, because they're amiibo, they're far more expensive than they should be. Like, I haven't looked exactly at the price, but if it's anything like the Animal Crossing amiibo, outside of America you get like 3 cards for about £4.
Oh really?
Which is
wow.
way too much. Yeah, I hate the Animal Crossing cards because of that. They're way too expensive.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot. I believe they cost about the same as the Animal Crossing. I don't think you get... I don't know if it's the same number in each pack though. I haven't gotten any myself, but I've seen them like on sale already.
Yeah. Well, in the Animal Crossing ones had double the amount that Japan and England got.
Oh really?
In Japan,
wow.
yeah. In America got 6. In Japan you only got 3, but they were slightly cheaper. In the UK they were about the same price as they are in America, but you only got 3.
Wow.
And I think the Sports Superstar cards are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Although I think the Sports Superstars try to give you one from each sport in it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw like maybe 2 unboxing videos where or unpackaging, I guess, where they got each. There were 5 cards, I think, and it was one for each sport.
Might just be a coincidence. I mean, the in-game it doesn't do that. In-game I've just had really clever luck. Really good luck, and it can't do that if it's if you only get 3 cards in England or Japan, because there's 5 sports.
Isn't there like a mini game in the game that uses like the amiibos, and isn't it like some sort of like pinball game and they become like obstacles, something like that? They talked about something like that.
I don't know. I haven't got any of the amiibo cards, so if there is an amiibo exclusive mode, woo, but the game already has so little content, I feel like that shouldn't be locked behind amiibo.
Yeah. See, I like this comparison right here, because in the same month you get 2 different games that I would argue have a fair amount of amiibo dedicated to them. You have, what is it, like 90 cards dedicated to Mario Sports Superstars, and then the 5 Breath of the Wild amiibo, handled very differently. Alright, so moving on a bit. Upcoming, now we're moving into what's actually in our future for amiibo. We get those 2 Fire Emblem Echoes amiibo, the Alm and Silica?
Yeah.
Cilia? I don't remember her name offhand.
Celica.
Yes,
As far as I'm aware.
Silica.
So we have those 2. I'm presuming there will be some sort of functionality with the previous Fire Emblem amiibo from Smash, because I believe they mentioned the Corrin amiibo.
It's been confirmed.
Okay, okay.
Scanning one of the amiibos in from the past will get you like a special Phantom warrior to fight.
All
And
right.
there's pictures of Roy and Marth being used. So presumably Robin, Lucina, and Ike all work. It's basically the same as they did in Fates, but rather than actually having the characters being there, they're phantoms.
Ghosts of Fire Emblem Past.
Yeah, and the Celica and Alma amiibo do the same thing, except you can actually like copy your unit. Basically, you can make a double of your lord.
Oh, okay.
So it will base it on the stats that you've saved to the amiibo.
Okay,
and then you can
that's
presumably
interesting.
pass that on to friends. If your friend has Fire Emblem Echoes and is struggling, you can give him your arm amiibo, and he'll summon your arm into the game. I'm assuming that works.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah,
I think that's decent use.
I think Intelligent Systems has been really clever with how they've used their amiibo so far. I mean, the Fire Emblem ones have gotten more use out of them than nearly any other amiibo in Smash, apart from the Mario series. Like every single game Intelligent Systems has released since amiibo were a thing have used the Fire Emblem amiibo in some way, usually to unlock that character in the game. I guess that's got another side to it, like for people who don't want to buy the amiibo, they can't get their hands on Marth, Ike, Robin, or Lucina.
Mm-hmm.
But it really depends, I guess, on how bothered you are by it, because in a lot of Intelligent Systems games they have so many characters that I never ended up I think Codename Steam, I tried out the 4 amiibo characters at least once, but I didn't think they were nearly as good as the actual characters in the game. And Fates, I never used them at all. I just unlocked them and then put them in my army and then never went back to them.
I think I did the same thing in Fates, actually.
Yeah. So Echoes, I'd imagine I'm just doing the same thing. But it's interesting that they are releasing amiibo for Alm and Celica. I mean, with the way Echoes has been announced and treated, I feel like it's almost more of a side project and not a main focus. So the very fact that it's getting amiibo, I'm interested in to see how they're going to sell. Especially because these amiibo aren't in Smash.
Right.
The first amiibo that aren't in Smash. Fire Emblem.
I would presume they would get functionality in future Fire Emblem games in the same way as Smash characters, and I'm guessing it's because they want fans to get familiar with the main characters of this game and the lords of Fire Emblem games in general. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the main lord in whatever next big Fire Emblem game on the Switch, I wouldn't be surprised if they also got an amiibo if they were still doing amiibo by then.
Gotta push those Smash newcomers early.
No, I agree.
I feel like these would probably work in Fire Emblem Warriors. There might be like some sort of functionality for all the amiibo, because Hyrule Warriors did that with the Zelda amiibo.
Oh yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to happen. It's whether or not they unlock exclusive weapons like Link did, or whether or not they just give specific weapons for that character, like scan Lucina, and you only get Lucina weapons.
Right.
And stuff. But no, I think that's a given. Fire Emblem's just a weird one, I think, because it's how important of a series do you count it to be one to get an amiibo? I mean, Nintendo clearly consider it quite a high priority series at the moment, so I'm not surprised that it's getting amiibo alongside Kirby, Animal Crossing, and Mario, for example.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if Pokemon really will start getting proper amiibo, because they're the sort of series I expect amiibo cards to come out and work really well for.
Yeah, I know a lot of people used to theorize that like they would start combining Pokemon cards with amiibo cards and jack up the price of them, but also the functionality of them.
Yeah, they did kind of the same thing with e-reader cards back in the day. But yeah, in regards to Echoes, it's interesting to see how this plays out. I think the amiibo functionality works quite well there, but just the characters chosen, I mean, they're the main characters, but they're not like really popular characters.
Maybe they're just hoping they will be.
Yeah,
or become so.
Yeah, so we'll sit back and see, and if it does well, then I would fully expect that Fire Emblem for Switch to come with an amiibo of its main character.
I mean, amiibo sell anyway, regardless of who it is, when you think about it. So, I mean,
yeah, but to me it seems like amiibo mostly sell to collectors at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the very fact that QB's not coming out outside of Japan is simply because he's clearly here just for people who wanted him, and they don't feel like the market's big enough outside of Japan. They don't feel the game is big enough outside of Japan.
Yeah.
So they're not releasing it there. Yeah.
Well, at least the Fire Emblem Echoes mentions the Corrin amiibo, so that's yet another hint that we'll hopefully be getting the Corrin, Cloud, and Bayonetta Smash amiibo. So we have mention of Corrin. We've seen like a teaser of the Bayonetta. We still got nothing on Cloud.
Yeah.
But they're apparently still coming one day.
Yeah, no, I think it's safe to assume that they'll be coming alongside the Smash for Switch port whenever that happens.
Yeah.
Like, I would assume that they would come out with Amiibo for any new character that was in there. I mean, we've got that that Amiibo listing that had 4 characters. I'm not 100% sure. Does those 4 include Corrin, Cloud, and Bayonetta?
Yes. And then I think
They
there
do.
was an additional extra one that fits the same ID number of the Smash line.
Okay. So yeah, so it's a question of whether or not it's a female Corrin or female Robin Amiibo, because I've seen that theory go around, seeing as they were willing to do alternate costumes for the Inklings,
Right.
and so they would do the same for Smash. I think the only issue with that though is that it didn't work for the Inklings.
Yeah, that's the thing. It didn't work for them.
I think it's put them off doing it for Smash. Although it would make more sense to do it with Robin and Corrin because they're like completely gender swapped than say a Fire Mario amiibo.
Well, yeah, but then the question would be: are we getting the male Wii Fit trainer? Are we getting Alf for Olimar? And are we getting other ones
that's
like
true.
that? But
That's true.
It's probably a question of which pilot.
I would say I would argue no,
yeah,
but
that doesn't seem likely. That's why I don't really know how I feel about the idea of it just being a female Robin or Corrin in addition to the other ones.
yeah,
Mostly because of that, because they haven't done that yet for the Smash Amiibo.
yeah, I think it's gonna be a new character. I mean, Smash for Switch will have at least one new character for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the current rumor is sitting on 2. We'll have to see. I'm hoping there'll be more than that, considering how long it's taking to come out.
Yeah, well,
But,
with where we
yeah,
are in the year right now, I feel like all that's probably gearing up to be E3. They're probably
yeah.
not going to give any, aside from the Fire Emblem Echoes Amiibo coming out like in May, I think it is. I don't think we're getting any other news on any Amiibo until E3, and then they're going to do their whole check out our website page, and there's like 15 new Amiibo listed. So I'm pretty sure that's what they did last year. Last year
Well-
they had the Breath of the Wild and Mario ones listed.
Yeah, they did. They did after E3 when they got announced. I've got a question though. Do you think
Right.
ARMS will get an amiibo? Because Splatoon did when it was first coming out. I mean, that was brand new. If they were trying to push ARMS in a similar fashion, do you think that Springman and Ribbon Girl will get amiibo?
Well, like I said, Amiibo sell, so I wouldn't put it past them to make an Amiibo since they also did it for Splatoon. But I think the question would be then how many Amiibo they wanted to make. I mean,
Right.
that's also dependent
Yeah.
on how well ARMS does, because Splatoon can get away with 2 sets of Inkling boys and girls, the Callie and Mary Amiibos, and the Squid thing, because it proved itself to be very profitable. But if ARMS only does modestly in comparison, then I can only see it getting 1 or 2, and that's if it gets any at all.
Yeah. Well, I could see like a Springman and Ribbon Girl amiibo for launch, and then if it does well, they'll produce more of the other characters in a similar way that after Splatoon did well, they produced Callie and Marie.
Yeah, I
and
could.
the
I
others.
could see that. I guess, and I guess it's mostly a question of does ARMS feel like it's being pushed as well as Splatoon was?
It's
No.
hard to say until we know.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it right now, but we also don't know a release date or anything. And if I recall correctly, Splatoon didn't start getting major push until 2 or 3 weeks before release. I mean,
That
that's
is
when
true.
they announced the global test fire. That's when they announced all the big summer plans
Yeah,
for
that is true.
Splatoon.
See, I would actually be
true.
really interested in with ARMS amiibos. I would be really interested in kind of like what they do with Smash of like training one. Of
Yeah.
basically a computer opponent that you train to be as good as you, or you pitch it against your friends, something like that. I think that would be the main way to get it to work.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's going to have like bendy arms like the Guardian amiibo does.
Oh, actually, that would be really interesting, because it
Yeah.
would be really weird if the Guardian was the only amiibo to utilize something like that.
So, I mean, so do we think there are any other amiibo? What do we think of the future of amiibo then? I guess from all of this,
Yeah.
to me, it looks like they're still going at it, and they're just rather than releasing a lot at once like they did with Smash, they're just gonna release them bit by bit.
Yeah, they're definitely
over
easing
periods
it
of
out by
time.
series and by demand, so to say, of what games are out at the time.
Yeah, and they look like cards are just going to be an excuse for whatever. Like, you can almost see Fire Emblem Amiibo cards coming out with Warriors just to
gosh.
have them there. Like, but yeah, are there any Amiibo you think that might get announced at E3 based on upcoming games or something?
I mean, I don't think anybody at all pictured the Mario Series 2 or Wave 2 amiibo to come, because I don't think anybody expected the Mario Party Star Rush. So they could completely surprise us, and honestly, I don't know, maybe like a Mario Wave 3 for Mario Odyssey or something.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with the Mario Series 2. I think that was inevitable. I think they were just looking for a game to release with that
Yeah.
to justify it somewhat. I could see a Mario Series 3. I just wonder what characters are worth putting out there.
I would presume they would have like the special Mario with the hat for if it was like from Mario Odyssey, but it would really depend. It really depends on the games that they want to utilize it for, because I feel like at the later end of the year they're not going to want to put a big focus on amiibo support in the same vein as Mario Sports Superstars, because those amiibo cards were not pushed very much at all until maybe the week of launch.
Yeah, it's because they think they knew that it would be a niche market and people
Yeah.
just randomly buying cards who would
Yeah.
pick them up. I could see if the Pikmin 4 is an actual thing and not like the 3DS game, I could see Pikmin based amiibo coming out for it.
Actually,
like
yeah, like
red, blue, yellow, purple, white, flying rock, and any other new ones, and then the Olimar amiibo would work for it as well.
would you see like amiibo of like the other captains to have them like as like little unlockable, like, hey, you can play as this captain from this game?
It depends on what the game's like, I guess. I mean, I would argue no. I feel like they just stick to the Pikmin, but then again, I think maybe amiibo of the captains would sell better than the Pikmin. Or maybe they pair them up, so you get an Olimar and red Pikmin, a Louis and blue Pikmin, an Alf and yellow Pikmin.
Yeah, something like that, and then it would just, even if it's just cosmetic differences to enjoy the game better for the Pikmin fans, I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that would sell. I mean, look back at the Kirby amiibo. The Kirby amiibo for Planet Robobot and what was the other one? Rainbow Curse. They weren't substantial content, but they offered content that was enough for players to pick them up a lot and make Meta Knight and Waddle Dee probably two of the rarest amiibo currently.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that, considering our current Switch lineup, the only real thing I would bet on for future releases would be probably something for Switch Fire Emblem, probably something for Switch Fire Emblem Heroes, and something for Super Mario Odyssey. Maybe they would probably make something for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Probably, maybe they'll announce that at E3.
Did the Shulk amiibo work for Xenoblade Chronicles X? I can't remember.
No, it
yeah, it
doesn't.
did. Wait.
Oh, it did?
Did it? What did it do?
Wait a minute. No, wait.
No, it works in 3D. It works in Xenoblade Chronicles 3D.
No,
But-
X didn't have any amiibo support. I got my games mixed up there. Shulk only worked on the new 3DS port of
3DS one?
Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced of Xenoblade 2 getting amiibo.
That's why
I think the Shulk one will work just because the Shulk one is there to work.
Right.
But I don't know if they would bother making another one. I think Xenoblade is slightly too niche still.
I mean, then again, it did get X, and it's getting a sequel this year. If you believe Nintendo UK saying it's still coming this year. And
Yeah.
Considering they made Almond Celica of all things, I wouldn't put it out of the question for whoever the protagonists of Xenoblade 2 are to maybe get one or two amiibo. Just a thought.
I know. I feel like Fire Emblem's a bigger series. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that we might get Pikmin instead. Well,
I think the main thing to take away right now is really just we don't know what Nintendo's doing with amiibo. It almost feels random what they choose sometimes. Like obviously it's what they believe will sell, but it really comes down to they can honestly make an amiibo for whatever game they're making that they want to, whether its functionality is good or not.
yeah.
And that doesn't really seem to matter. It's more of a will this sell?
I think the Amiibos might have slowed down, but I think that's mainly because the Smash line stopped, and that was a good. They still need an excuse to release Amiibo, and now that Smash is done until I guess the port, but we don't know how many characters that's going to add. There's just no real reason. There's no justification to release. Like they're not going to randomly release Kid Icarus Amiibo,
right?
If there's no Kid Icarus game coming out.
Ironically enough, they did put Kid Icarus rewards on My Nintendo. Just a thought.
In America, yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not see that.
Well, it's there. They put the anime episodes up, so in the interest of random facts, there you go.
It's gearing up for a secret Amiibo announcement.
There we go. There's Sakurai's new project. No, but in all honesty, with the Amiibo, it's definitely geared to whatever game is upcoming, so for all we know, maybe there'll also be Splatoon 2 Amiibo, which will probably just be the same as the Splatoon 1 Amiibo, but different look. Maybe you'll get stuff from Splatoon 1 by using the Splatoon 1 Amiibo, and that.
I could see that.
So, any last thoughts with all this? Are you guys going to keep buying Amiibo regardless, or?
I'm going to get the Fire Emblem ones, but that's only because I set myself up by saying I would get them all. So, it's my fault now.
Well, if any Amiibo comes out that interests me, I'll get it. I would pay quite handsomely for an Amiibo based on Bowser's suit and hats from Odyssey. Shamelessly.
I think I would do the same, honestly. I'm at a solid 40 right now. I kind of don't want to go up higher than that, but I want to complete the Smash set too. So, you guys can find me, Tris, on Twitter, or on my own channel, WiiHii, Let's Play channel. Nantenjex, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter, at Mr. Nintendo, or just by following, Source Gaming's YouTube channel, subscribe, and like this video, and just go through it, and you can find any video by me, basically. I'm all over the place there.
Alright, and Liquid?
Likewise, people can either subscribe to Source Gaming's YouTube channel, or follow me on Twitter through @Liquid12A.
Alright, well, thanks guys. Make sure to subscribe to Source Gaming for even more news and information on games, Amiibo, in general.
Okay, bye guys.